Welcome to our exploration of Numbers chapter 15. Right after the devastating rebellion and the 40-year exile sentence, we see a beautiful, profound shift in dialogue. This chapter gives us a blueprint for standardizing excellence, managing failure, and safeguarding our memory. God completely changes the subject, giving instructions meant for the time when the Israelites would finally settle in the Promised Land. This opening is a powerful promise of the future. When a team is demoralized by a massive failure, the best leadership strategy is to immediately pivot the conversation to the concrete details of their future success, reaffirming that the ultimate goal is still secure.
God details the special gifts they are to offer, but here's the key element. Animal sacrifices are never to be offered alone. They must be accompanied by exact measurements of choice flour, olive oil, and wine. A true offering of dedication is never just a single isolated asset. A complete organizational commitment requires an integrated package, combining raw strength with refined resources and joy.
God makes it explicitly clear that these exact instructions apply equally to native-born Israelites and any foreigners living among them. They are perfectly equal before the Lord. A healthy organizational culture applies its operational standards universally. You cannot have a two-tiered system. Whether you are a legacy employee or a new hire, the standard of excellence must be identical. The Lord commands that when they eat the new crops, they must set aside a sacred cake made from the very first flour they grind. A sustainable system prioritizes returning its very first margins back to the core mission. Delaying gratitude until there is a surplus guarantees that gratitude will eventually be forgotten.
The chapter shifts from worship to the reality of human failure. If the community or an individual unintentionally makes a mistake, there is a clear, graceful path of purification through a sin offering. A resilient organization expects human error. Creating a clear, dignified path for acknowledging and correcting accidental mistakes prevents small operational failures from destroying team morale. However, there is a very sharp contrast for intentional sins. Those who brazenly violate the Lord's will, treating His word with contempt, must be completely cut off from the community. While systems must be highly graceful toward accidental errors, they must be absolutely ruthless in cutting out deliberate defiance. Tolerating contempt destroys the culture from the inside out.
The severity of this brazen disobedience is immediately illustrated when a man is caught deliberately gathering wood on the Sabbath. God commands that the whole community stone him outside the camp. If a boundary is never enforced, it isn't a boundary, it's merely a suggestion. A community must sometimes participate in the painful removal of a toxic element to preserve the integrity of its core values. After this solemn event, the chapter concludes with a beautiful provision. God instructs the Israelites to attach tassels with a blue cord to the hems of their clothing as a constant visual safeguard to remind them to obey. Human memory is fragile under pressure. You must build simple, constant visual safeguards into your daily environment to physically remind yourself of your core values before you drift off course. This chapter is filled with the exactness of worship, the severity of defiance, and the enduring grace of a God who provides ways to remember Him. This leaves us with two questions to reflect on today. Does your team have a clear, dignified process for handling accidental mistakes without destroying morale? And second, what physical, daily tassels have you built into your own environment to remind yourself of your highest values? Take a moment, breathe, and let them sink in.